This live prepper here, and I was just sitting here thinking about things as we open our eyes more to whatever it is in your circumstances, whether it's to nature or to the government or to what we see or don't see on the computers and TVs. We tend to become more of a outcast in many ways. And I guess that's the way many preppers feel, that we feel more like of a outcast than anything. Now, I'm just a back to basic one. I'm not, I don't have a lot of money to spend on a bunch of fancy stuff. You've seen basically what I've got. It's just real basic, simple stuff. I'm teaching myself, reteaching myself how to live off the land and things and survive a situation like that. The basic down to earth things. But as I continue to progress in the areas that I am going into, the research, the learning how to survive, things in that area. And I think this is what a lot of preppers are finding, that, and even non-preppers are feeling more like outcasts and things, because I want to tell you, you're sitting there and you're listening to them, and then they go, well, the Democrats is all their fault. They're bringing this country down. That's just what it is. The Democrats are bringing this country down. And then you'll hear them saying, that dang Republican over there. I want to just tell you now, these Republicans, they get their way, we're all going to be in a world of mess. Anybody is a Republican ain't no good. Then you got the independent ones. Well, those independent ones are just flat out crazy. They don't want to be a Republican and they don't want to be a Democrat, but they're independent because they don't like either one. So they're just flat out crazy. Don't like them. No, don't like them. So, and they get really wrapped up in it. You ever listen to people talk about football? I mean, they're getting in arguments over it. You'll have people literally get, oh, my team's gonna win. All it is to it, I don't want to hear about it. My team's winning. That's it. But then when a team loses, they're like, I don't want to talk to you. They'll get you next year. They'll actually get in fights over it. I seen a boy come to work one time. They had two black eyes from one of the football parties they had, arguing over the teams, who was winning and who was losing. Come in with two black eyes. Missed about 3 days of work because his face was so bruised up and everything bad. Ain't that something? They don't get in a fight over buying a few extra groceries or whatever. No, they're going to get in a fight over something like that. But that's what happens is, as we open our eyes more to whatever it is that we are seeing more of, and not everybody agrees on everything, but we tend to feel more outcast in ways. I find myself more reluctant to talk about certain things. I don't get into a lot of details about things. At first, I kind of did, but then the reactions I got, of course. So then I kind of started backing off and getting kind of reluctant to talk about. I still talk about my nature and growing my herbs and things like that, but I don't talk about my ideas on a lot of things much. It's just people don't want to hear it. They really don't. They don't want to hear about the prophecies or the seals in the Bible or the apocalypse that's happening every day around the world. They don't want to hear about this new world order, believing in having 500,000 million, 500, yeah, 500,000 million people. Yeah, 500,000 million people. That's right. There. They don't want to hear about any of that. in any way. They don't want to hear about you need to raise your own foods. They don't want to hear about the GMOs. They don't want to hear about what's in these foods when they go to the restaurants, but they want to sue them. You made me fat from drinking all your cold grains. Well, nobody made you go buy those cold grains and turn them up and drink them. Sue McDonald's, I'm fat because of all your burgers. Well, nobody made you go buy them. Nobody forced you to walk into that door and buy those burgers. I mean, that's just bottom line. People are sue happy. They want to sue over every little thing there is. Oh my goodness, there's a Chick-fil-A thing where, they shut the door. One woman's a vegetarian claiming she got sued over eating vegetables. Another one said, oh, I got sick a week later. Things like that. And, some of them get sue happy. Then they get all wrapped up in all this stuff. But they don't get wrapped up in the real things to think about. Well, you know what? I've been going out to eat at a restaurant every day. I go by and I can stop and get my food every day. You know what? If I took 2 of those restaurant food things and bought some groceries to put back, I might have some food in case the power goes out or in case something happens that I can't get to the store. Instead of having my refrigerator full of ghost stuff and hot pocket stuff and TV dinners that could and will run if the power goes out. Maybe I need to stock up on some other things that I can kind of count on in a situation. But most people don't think it like it. But the fact is, the more I open my eyes to things, more I look at things, and it's not necessarily, I see a lot of people that are preppers that are older people, but a lot of them had been prepping for years. They had started prepping, when they was in their 30s or whatever, when their children were small. They had started prepping then, and they still kept prepping. Some of them was forced into a prepping situation when their income went from one extreme to another. A lot of people lost a lot of good paying jobs. So they wound up in a prepping stage and became those basic preppers to have extra food and extra supplies, extra medications or whatever if they need in a situation. So as we open our eyes up to seeing what we see, we feel more like an outcast because most people don't want to hear about it. They think you're some crazy nut when you start talking about, well, hey, you know what? I don't really believe in either side, or look, this side's done this and this side's done that. Well, I don't want to hear it. If you ain't a Democrat, I don't want to hear it. If you ain't a Republican, I don't want to hear it. If you ain't an independent, I don't want to hear you betraying them. But they'll get all wrapped up in that. People are more concerned about who's who. They'll get on Twitter and they're more concerned about someone, what they're wearing that day or who they're seeing that day or whatever, than hearing about what you want to talk about. They don't want to hear that. So as your eyes open up, you begin to feel more like an outcast. I mean, you begin to find yourself kind of drawing away from it. I've got 2 different Facebooks. One of them's got my family and friends. It was games and everything I played on it. But as I got more into my prepping stuff, I set up a separate one. And I tend to talk more on them than I do on the other one because most of them on there are just people I met through the games. I mean, their families and there's friends on there. Don't get me wrong. But most of them don't want to hear about what I want to talk about. They just want to see some cute little thing to post or whatever. But I can get on my other one and I can talk about things I'm interested in, from wilderness survival to camping out to planting to what this here will do to filtering process to how to build this. I can learn from these people. So I'm comfortable in that environment. But I don't go to work and say, man, I just come around and got this and this. And it's hard. One of my friends, he said he has a hard time finding a group to go to. The fact is, a lot of the groups out there are basically couch potato preppers, and they want to be part of a group, and it's hard to find a group to feel comfortable in. So that's where, when as our eyes open up more, we feel more like a outcast because we cannot open up to our friends and our families of how we're feeling about things because they think they don't want to hear it. So I want to tell you what, I don't care if I feel like it. I don't care if I'm an outcast. I really don't care. I see myself withdrawing from some things. There's things that I got a lot of friends that I don't hang out a whole lot with. I mean, I can talk to them about some things, but the minute I start even talking about remotely what I'm really interested in talking about, they shut me down. They get that I don't want to hear it stuff. So it's okay to feel like it. I mean, because fact is, because you're opening your eyes up and you're seeing things more out there. You're seeing that you need to put up more food. You're seeing you need to prepare for to keep yourself warm somehow. Seeing how you can survive in a situation. That's being good. That's being smart. Because I'm not saying tomorrow SHTF worldwide is going to happen, but we have a lot of small SHTFs all the time, from water contaminants to foods that was contaminated or whatever. So, feeling outcast, if I feel, that's okay. You know what? If they don't want to hear what I got to say, I don't care. At one time, it bothered me because people seemed like they just snubbed me a little bit. Uh, it's hard to find people to go do things with that I want to do with, but I mean, I'm okay with it. So as your eyes open up and you feel more like an outcast, it's okay to feel like that because you got extra food put up, you got extra water, you got extra supplies. You're giving yourself and your family or friends, whoever's involved, whoever you're figuring for, you're giving them a chance if something should go wrong. Beans and rice can go a long way when you're doggone hungry. So this live prepper here, it's okay to feel like that. It ain't you got a problem with it. It's them. And if they wanted to shut you down and they don't want to hear about it, that's okay. You just talk smack with them. And the whole time you sit there and think about, hey, I'm the one with all the extra supplies put up. You know what? In 2 weeks or a week or so, your food's going to be gone. You're going to be crying. But I want to have enough to last me for 2 or 3 months. I'll be okay. Give me a fighting chance. So it's okay to feel the way you feel. Because you're giving yourself and your family and your friends, whoever's in your little circle of friends or whatever, a fighting chance where these other people are just not going to have it. So this is a live prepper here. I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all your preppers out there. It's okay to feel where you are because your eyes are opening up. So you're really not an outcast at all. You're just taking the next step over, just like you can folks did in their day when they can everything and put everything up. You're just thinking more along that way. So be careful.